The first ever escape from Azkaban actually went undetected for over 13 years, and it all started the day Barty Crouch Jr. was sentenced to life in Azkaban by his own father for torturing Neville Longbottom's parents to the point of insanity. As a distraught Mrs. Crouch watched her son lose his life to Azkaban, she pleaded with Barty Crouch Sr. to have mercy before collapsing in sheer grief. And from that moment on, her health deteriorated, until about a year later when her terminal illness, only aggravated by the stress of losing her son, now threatened to take her life. Resigned to her fate, she begged Barty Sr. to help her son escape, and so on a ministry-sanctioned visit with Barty, Mrs. Crouch and the prisoner drank polyjuice potions and switched appearances, allowing Barty Jr. to simply walk out disguised as Mrs. Crouch, while she spent her final days locked in the belly of Azkaban. Given the Dementor's blindness, they could only detect a dying person entering the prison in Mrs. Crouch, and a dying person leaving in Barty Jr. due to the effects Azkaban had on him. After her death a few days later, Mrs. Crouch was buried, still disguised as Barty Jr., and so the world believed he was dead, whilst at home, Barty Sr. painstakingly staged his wife's death to cover the whole thing up. Eventually, this plot was foiled 13 years later, where Barty Jr. was sentenced to the Dementor's kiss for escaping Azkaban, a sentence worse than death itself.